So do not forget to draw the diagrams for each question. So whatever is a question, very rarely you will not have to draw the diagram, but for most of the problems you must draw the diagram. The next point is, in case of similarity, write the correspondence of the triangles very carefully. Now why I am saying so, you all know it. If your correspondence goes wrong, the entire problem will go wrong. The next one is, for the chapter construction, your required diagram should be dark and the rest of the lines or arcs should be comparatively light. Now what exactly I mean by this particular point? Let's take a simple example. If you are supposed to draw the circumcircle of a triangle, so your circumcircle should be dark, your triangle should be dark, but you all know to draw the circumcircle you need to draw minimum 2 perpendicular bisectors. So those 2 perpendicular bisectors should be comparatively very light. The next point is, keep your trigonometry table ready before the start of your paper. So usually you get your answer sheet at least 10 minutes before the final bell, and so in those 10 minutes keep your trigonometry table ready. So whenever you have to solve the problem based on trigonometry table, that is wherever you require the values of say sin 30, cos 45 and so on, you can immediately go through the table, so you need not have to draw it once again in between your 2 hours. Okay. Now the last point, this is very important students. While doing any calculation or calculations, especially your mensuration problem, try to avoid doing calculations in parts. Now what exactly I mean by this? Let's take a simple example. Suppose you want to perform this calculation. Okay. Now usually what you all do is, you take down all the numbers on the next line and then you start performing one calculation. That is, say you have performed the calculation between the number 3 and say number 192. I am not interested in the answer here for the time being at least. But after this step, you write down all the numbers that you have obtained in the step on the next line. And once again you start performing another calculation. Say the calculation between 7 and 1225. Now dear students, remember one thing, this is absolutely correct as far as the mathematics is concerned. But still I will suggest that don't do the calculations in this way. The reason is very simple. If you commit a mistake in this step, quite obviously that mistake is taken on the next line and your entire problem will go wrong. So as far as possible, this is your last step. So this is what I am saying, that don't try to solve the examples or your calculations in this way. Again repeating, this is not at all mathematically wrong. But as discussed earlier, if you commit a mistake in this step, obviously this will be on the next line, so also on the next line, so on and so forth. So there are chances that you will lose maximum marks. So instead of that, if I want to do this calculation, do all the calculations in one step and try to do it almost at the end of your problem. So if I want to perform some calculation between 3 and 192, do it here. Between 7 and 1225, do it here itself. Okay. So here I am performing the calculation between 7 and this 1225, and then between this 3 and this number 192. So remember this point, this is a very important point. And then obviously your answer is not going to change, but if you commit a mistake, there will be a huge problem. So with all these important points, you are going to remember all these points and face your exam very confidently.